Good morning, good morning. You want to know more about Tuscany? Well, I say more about the wonderful place that is Tuscany and the more beautiful location that is the Valdichiana region. We have the honor to have Francesca, the most wonderful tourist wife that I met in my life. And she's gonna tell us more about this wonderful location. This is the 9th chapter of Boyami Bits of Wellness, and you're ready for me to this wonderful enogastronomy place. Let's start.
So thank you.
Tell us something about Montepulciano first of all, and then we go to all the rest of the region.
So Montepulciano is, first of all, is a place where I live, so you can imagine that I love my town, and I'm so proud to live here as a good Tuscan people or as a good Italian person. Montepulciano is a very ancient place, settled by the Etruscans in the 7th century before Christ, and since that time we have this long tradition in making extra virgin olive oil and wine. We refer always to wine because actually it's part of our story. It's impossible to separate, to distinguish, and you can immediately catch this just visiting the historical center of the town, where you can see there are 7 different historical wine cellars. So what does it mean? Places built in the century, starting from the Etruscan tombs on, to age wine. During the 1500s, we know that Vino Nobile di Montepulciano was absolutely the main wine for popes, and they asked it for those Rosso from Montepulciano. Was a selected red wine from Montepulciano. At that time, the name was not Nobile, which is a more contemporary name. And this is a curiosity. At that time, Montepulciano, well known around the world for its Brunello, well, at that time was famous for the sweet wine. It was the Moscadello. So we know that we have this long tradition, and noble people, they started to build their own wine cellar inside their palaces. It's a treasure that is possible to admire for all the visitors coming into Montepulciano. During the season, all the wine cellars are open all over the day, and you can have a taste of our exquisite Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, which is a DOCG wine, so it represents the top quality wines produced in Italy, and all the 100 different producers, they have to attend a regulamentation. The name is Disciplinare di Produzione, so it's a sort of a book where there are all the rules that all the wineries are obliged to follow to get the authorization to label and sell it as a DOCG wine. The main rule is about the grape. We are obliged to use a minimum of 70% of our Sangiovese. I say our because the Sangiovese is a red variety grape cultivated all over Tuscany or central Italy, but we have different clones. So the one that has been selected for this area is perfectly suitable with the soil, microclimate characteristic, and its name is Sangiovese Prugnolo Gentile. So we are allowed to use a minimum of 70% for the blend of the Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, and the other 30% can be a blend of local or international varieties. So this is up, of course, of each wine cellar that in a way decided the style and the taste of the Vino Nobile.
Wow! So interesting. What about the underground of Montepulciano?
Yeah, there's a Montepulciano which appears, and it's beautiful because it talks and refers to Renaissance art, but there's another one underground which is spectacular. The 7 wine cellars I was referring before, they are all included in the historical center, and they are gorgeous architecture, reminding a glorious period, that of the Renaissance art, but above all they refer to the long tradition we have in making wine. So most of them, they looks like a cathedral and not simply wine cellars because of their architecture. And the producer, they continue to age the wine in those beautiful historical wine cellars, not just for a touristic reason, of course, but because In there you can have the right climate and humidity condition that are required for a perfect aging of our Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. The period of aging of the Nobile is 2 years for the regular one, 3 years for the category Riserva. The Riserva is a sort of a cream of the crop. So when there is the right condition and a super harvest, so the quality of the grape is high level, so we are allowed to make Riserva, which ages for 3 years instead of 2. Otherwise, we have a young wine to introduce the denomination, which is the Rosso di Montepulciano, that we generally say is the small brother of the Vino Nobile, but with a shorter period of aging, so just 6 months. So this is perfect for people who prefer young and fresh wine instead of aged wines and so complex wines.
Good. I tasted the 3 types and they really wonderful. Really wonderful, the taste and everything else. What about the food? The food accompanied this wonderful wine.
Yeah, let me say that the perfect partner for our wine is for the Vino Nobile di Montepulciano for sure is the food, and we have so many proposals because we are very close to Pienza, where it is produced since ever. Let me say the famous pecorino di Pienza, so this cheese made using only sheep milk. Then there are producers of salami, so local salami, so tasty. And we also have extra virgin olive oil producers, so extra virgin olive oil is simply perfect, especially if you think to a bruschetta, who is this toasted bread.
I'm start having hungry, Francesca.
It's so tasty, and being fat, the combination with wine is perfect because the wine is acid. The food is fat, and so wine can clean perfectly the palate, giving the sensation of what we say is the right balance in the palate. And then, of course, the meat. I cannot skip to refer to the Chianina cow race, this giant white cow that we breed in the Chiana Valley. That maybe you heard about this as bistecca fiorentina, like thick like this, with a weight of 1 kilo and 2. Otherwise, we do not consider it as bistecca. It's too thin, it's less. And of course, cooking time is like we grill it for 7 minutes from one side, 7 minutes the other side, and a couple of minutes on the part of the bones, and that's perfect. So it must be rare inside. And to dress it, we just use a drop of extra virgin olive oil and some salt, because one of the characteristics of the meat, of the Chianina meat, is that it's naturally tasty.
Yeah, you just make some salt in there.
Yes, absolutely. It's really simple, essential ingredient to exalt the quality of the meat.
Actually, the oil is amazing, and the olive oil of this region that you put on the vegetables and everything.
The characteristic, I mean, traveling around Tuscany, you can taste 100 different extra virgin olive oils, and they taste all different, because what gives the taste to the extra virgin olive oil, of course, is the variety, olives cultivated, but also the microclimate and the soil. So those are the responsible of the final taste of the extra virgin olive oil, but that anyway in Tuscany is always a little bit spicy and green. And this is perfect for the food tradition that we have in here. We need something to support our cuisine, and so it's not so delicate. I mean, we have to use it for important dishes. Traveling around Italy, for example, if you go to the north of Italy or the south of Italy, the extra virgin olive oil tastes totally different, but they have another food tradition. So each product represents the tradition that you can find in a special corner of Italy, and in this case of Tuscany.
Yes, that's how Tuscany people say that you have to eat the local products for everything, from the drink to the first plate to the dessert, everything.
Absolutely, and it's impossible to find a local person having a glass of wine without something to eat beside. In here, we love to say that we do not drink wine, we eat wine.
Yes, it is like that, because it's like a plate. It gives you everything, the wine, energy, sugar, make heat, obviously,
happiness.
Happiness. I talk about wine in the last chapters, so I'm sure you remember that everything has to be moderate, but It's a really healthy product, and here in Tuscany is one of the best parts of the world. I think, I'm sure that you can enjoy this type of product, right, Francesca?
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think
absolutely.
about it?
I do agree, absolutely.
So we finished for today, but first of all, I want to tell you that you have the possibility to come anytime you want it, because Montepulciano is open all year long. If you come in springtime, you will see wonderful colors of the flowers and of the vegetation on this place. If you come in summertime, we are in about how meters?
Montepulciano is 605 meters, so it's always quite windy, so it's a nice place to visit even during the summertime.
Okay, and then the time of autumn, that I think is one of my favorites. I love Montepulciano, so for me it's wonderful all year long. But in autumn we have the vendemmia, so we can taste the wine of the production of the year, right?
Well, when the harvest time is generally not before the end of September. Well, this depends on the season, but anyway, this is actually a sort of a rule, and it's beautiful because immediately after the harvest, so consider if you come at the mid-October when the harvest generally is done, well, there's the changing of the color in the fields. So the Sangiovese, for example, changes its color from green into yellow, I'm referring to the leaves. Other variety grapes like Colorino or Merlot, they change the color of their leaves into red. So just walking around the countryside, you can see those waves of color, changing color, and refers to autumn. Then, of course, we started with the period of aging, so only few wineries, they propose the Novello, that is a sort of a Beaujolais wine. The others, well, need patience to wait a little bit to have the coming out of the new vintages.
Oh my God, I can be here forever hearing the history of this place and everything about wine and about food of Tuscany, of the Valdichiana and the Valdorcia region. But we finished today. Maybe the next time you come in person to make a round about Montepulciano with Francesca, that it will be the best thing that can happen to you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Francesca, for being with me today, for being with us today. I hope the next week we will still talking about Tuscany. I hope you'll be with us again, and have a great day and have a great week. Thank you, Francie.
Thank you. Ciao.